We're going to talk about the Vet SOS podcast. But the difference and the change that we're going to be talking about this week is you're going to be focusing on some new segments, but we're going to go focus on this entrepreneur segment, which I think is fantastic because veteran-owned businesses, if you're a veteran and you're not, going to veteran-owned businesses, and you're not patronizing those veteran-owned businesses, and you're not referring other veterans when they're going through their transition to these veteran-owned businesses, you're missing out as a community of veterans.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's there's some great businesses out there run by veterans doing amazing things, and it's why don't we support our own community? I mean, to me, that just makes sense. That if they have a great product, they're doing great work, let's support them.
And what have you seen so far? Reaching out to because you're going to have a new segment for veteran-owned businesses. What have you heard so far about, have you heard of some of these? Is it interesting when you're going through the process of searching and saying, I never knew this was a veteran-owned business?
But the first thing that jumped out at me is a lot of people took their military training and turned that into a business. So whatever their specific job was, they turned that into maybe a consulting firm or a specific business. Also seeing a lot of franchises out there. So the best part about it is veterans are just getting after it. They're finding an avenue. They're using that training, that discipline they learned in the military, and they're using it to forge ahead and create their own thing. I love seeing it.
No, I absolutely. And so have you, and are they, some of them are looking still to become known more, right? They
Oh, absolutely.
created that system. They've gotten that solopreneur maybe at the beginning to expansion now. And they're like, okay, now I got to get it out there further,
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, most of them still want to grow. Some are established. They've been doing it for quite a while. Others are brand new, and every year we're going to have brand new businesses. So we're hoping, with this entrepreneurial spotlight that, one, we can give them a chance to come on and talk about their business, let people know what they're doing. And I'm also hoping that we're going to get some great lessons learned. Things that happen along their entrepreneurial journey that'll help future entrepreneurs to start their business. And the best part about it is it's not going to just be veterans that they're helping. Anybody who wants to start a business could check these videos out and pull some great nuggets of information to help them start their business and avoid the pitfalls others have.
And then I think you're hoping through this process of these entrepreneur businesses, you're going to learn also other companies that are related to them, or if they do hire veterans, because
Oh yeah.
that's the other process. Are they open to training? Training's a key component. And I think that they're going to talk about that probably in their journey because they're going to have a transition story as well, Sean. And then they're going to come back and they're going to tell, well, you know what? They weren't willing to train me. So I just learned it on my own.
Oh yeah. I'm sure we're going to see the full gamut of stories when it comes to this. And part of, our focus with the podcast is transition. So we still want to hear their transition story, but then we want to jump right into that entrepreneurial journey and what that looked like and what they went through. And one of the questions I've asked every single one of the people so far that we're preparing to interview is, do they offer SkillBridge, which is the military internship program that you can do in the last 6 months of your service. So finding out if they're trying to hire, if they actually have, an internship program to help train future generations. So, there's a lot of great stuff that's going to come out of this, I think.
I absolutely think so. And it's going to give you more research and
Oh,
more
absolutely.
understanding of where you're going as a foundation, is which we've been talking about on the last broadcast that you and I were talking
Yeah.
about. So, if you think about that transition story and then entrepreneurship, now you have a job, but now with this foundation, with this podcast, you're an entrepreneur now. You have that entrepreneur story too. How do you look at things from the day one that you press record for your first podcast to where you are now, looking at a foundation and talking about all these things and saying, I couldn't imagine where you were going, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's no way if you would have told me 2, 3 years ago that I one would even have a podcast, but that we're doing this podcast. We've started a business. We're reaching out to community. We're trying to help. We're trying to educate people, and we're just making all these great connections and meeting all these great people. I never would have guessed it. I figured I would have just been in a regular job and just grinding away, moving towards the next goal. But I mean, this has been a fantastic journey, and I've learned so much. And every day I learn something new. And through this podcast alone, I'm going to learn a ton of stuff about entrepreneurship, and that'll ultimately help my own business.
I'm wondering how many veteran-owned businesses there are in the United States, and are there programs for those businesses? That's something.
So,
Yeah, go.
well, yeah, we definitely have programs. So there's a program called Boots to Books, or I'm sorry, there is an organization called Boots to Books that helps with education, but there's a Boots to Business, sorry, is one that they offer during transition, and then there's a second level of that they offer through Mississippi State University, and then Syracuse, IBMF. They team with Bunker Labs, so they do a whole entrepreneur thing. And there's probably another 10, 15 out there that actually help with the entrepreneurial journey, and there's also veteran specific contests, kind of like Shark Tank type stuff where you can get on there and pitch your business and things like that. So there's all kinds of opportunities out there.
I think it's fantastic. It's because and then what makes them and the skill sets. You think about what the military brings. They bring a lot of great training and great
Right.
skill sets once you become a civilian. And I think that that's a missing thing that a lot of businesses out there. So I think what holes are going to happen is, first of all, you're going to find out that there are more veterans that need to go to veteran-owned businesses, but you're going to find out there's a lot more veterans that other companies that are not veteran-owned that need to learn to train and bring veterans in for their business.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a whole nother program out there, with SkillBridge and all that to help bring people into your business. And those businesses that get on board with SkillBridge and using those types of programs really do benefit because they're getting to see all that talent come in, and they're be able to retain that talent through this whole training process and workup. So it's one of those things that I hope more companies partake in it, because if you're not doing it, you're really missing out.
All right. Well, best place people can go find information on you. Where can they go, Sean?
VetSOSpodcast.com. We got everything right on there.
And soon, the foundation. And I can't wait till that happens. Appreciate it, Sean. Thanks
All
again.
right. Thanks a lot, Neil.
You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show. We'll be back.